important. But how we do what we do becomes more and more important. And that's for every guy here. We got to do it better. Our goal is to have the kind of team that nobody wants to play. And that means that we have to impose our will to dominate the competition all the time. It's all about what does it take to break you.
The two top teams in the country, they are about to battle for it all. Welcome to Nick Saban Jr. Sports Talk TV. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I got my man Jason with me.
Yes,
Michigan
sir.
man, the Michigan man himself.
Yes, sir.
He's sitting over there. I know he happy. He happy, feeling good about what's going on. It's been a while for Michigan, so hey, it's been overdue. So the time is now. Time is now.
Yes, sir.
Washington versus Michigan. Washington versus Michigan. Bro, this is something that a lot of people didn't see in the country, especially us Alabama fans. Texas fans, they didn't see it either. They didn't think this was going to happen. Tide Talk Live, Roll Tide, Roll. What's going on? But this is something we didn't see come neither. We thought it was going to be a rematch. Listen, I did a video the week before, and I was poking fun at the Michigan guys, talking about the defense is overrated because they play a lot of teams ranked in the 100s. Well, let's be for real. They came out there and showed us what was overrated.
Yeah.
They put it to us. And I'm a man that I'm a Bama fan, but hey, I don't be butthurt. Move on. We lose the game, move on from it. Give congratulations, give kudos. Congratulate y'all. Sorry for the disrespect before the game. I can say that. But as a Michigan fan in the national championship right now, how is the mood right now for the Michigan fans?
Well, it's great. I mean, the fact that we finally overcame that hurdle in the playoff, because this is our third straight year doing it, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the only teams to have accomplished that feat is you guys in Clemson, if I'm not mistaken. But overall, it's great. I mean, we love it, but we got one more game. So as long as we come in with the right mindset, which I believe we will, we should. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. I mean, Washington, Penix can throw the ball. He can throw that ball all across the field. So, and it's funny because JJ McCarthy. I mean, he did his thing against Bama. He number wise, it was like okay, good enough to get by, but it was good enough for the win. He has absolutely got to play his best ball. And I'm not saying that he has to go like yards for yards with Penix, which is going to be tough because I don't think he's had a 400-yard passing game, if I'm not mistaken. But it's really going to be interesting. It really, really is. I can't wait. And
see, let's talk about McCarthy. McCarthy, let's talk about it. I say this. I said the same thing with Miro. When I was talking about Miro, I was referring to him in the SEC championship. He didn't have the eye-popping numbers for a quarterback. Didn't have the eye-popping numbers for a quarterback. But he made football plays. He made the plays when the plays were needed to be made. And let's say the same thing for McCarthy. He might not always have the eye-popping numbers for a quarterback, but McCarthy, he didn't make any mistakes. Yeah. That's very key into playing the big games, not making mistakes and making the football play when it needs to be made. Yeah. Finding the passer, the passer that's running wide open when it needs to be made. Making them plays. That's the big thing about playing quarterback in big time games. Mistake-free football. Mm-hmm. And I can say, I understood Michigan football a lot more after we played them. The style of football they play allows them to make less mistakes, allows them to make the least mistakes. If they make mistakes, it's really on them.
Yep. And you mentioned mistake-free football, and one thing that was funny, and I almost pulled a Steve Spurrier of my hat, throwing it down the first play of the game instead of throwing it out of like getting it out of bounds.
Like completely out of bounds.
He got it in an area where the guy could make a play, and it was looking bad because I was like, first play of the game, and you do that, and you just like throwing it away. I'm like, I didn't know if it was nerves, but we got the ball back, and he settled down, and he did his thing. Now, and what was crazy was from watching the game, he did not take any deep shots for real like that. He really didn't. Everything was all like 5 yards and out, or slant down the middle, whatever the case may be, and they would catch it and turn in big time yards, or they would run the ball. So I mean, yeah, he's just got to have his best collegiate game because it may be his last game. And I'm saying this as a Michigan fan. I'm not saying that he's ready for the NFL because you got to remember he's only 20 years old. He hasn't even hit 21 yet.
Yeah.
So, the way I look at it is he has got to really go out and sling the ball. That's not saying that he can't do it, but it's, he's going to have to play. I'm not saying he has to play better than what he did against Apple because, like you say, he doesn't have to have the quarterback numbers in order to win. But he can't be like a shaky guy. And that's going to be interesting to see because all year they haven't lost a game yet. And it's not because like he's had bad play or nothing like that.
Yeah. And let's get, like you said, got to be a little better, basically what you're saying. But let's get down to the main thing about this. Well, Washington is a team that you don't want that type of team to get too far ahead of you, because that's the team they're gonna throw it 50 times a game, and if they get that confidence going, the way Michigan plays offense, the way they play football,
right? You
don't really want to. If you're Michigan, you don't want to play that. Let's come from behind. Come from behind 14 points,
right?
Or, you know what I'm saying, with the team like Washington. But let's talk about the defense of Michigan, and do you feel like this defense from Michigan can slow down Michael Penix and slow down this offense?
So here's what's funny, and I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but Michigan has faced Michael Penix before at Indiana. The only difference is he's not the same quarterback that he was at Indiana. He has much better talent around him at Washington, which makes everything look better as far as that regard. And Washington is supposedly have the best offensive line in football. So in order for the defense is going to have to throw blitzes that Michael Penix hasn't seen all year. And really kind of shake them up just to see what happens from there. But the way our corners looked against y'all, I think we can go with their wide receivers because they're tall and they've got yards to accommodate for. I don't know about the running back that got hurt against Texas because he was on crutches and he got carted off. I don't know if he's he's actually gonna play. I don't know the severity of his injury, but that could be a huge hit as far as offense goes because they're not gonna be able to throw the ball all day long unless if we're just not playing defensively. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I went back. I looked at the one game where they really struggled, and it was against Arizona State. Arizona State was actually drawing up stuff to get to Michael Penix. And what I see from Michigan does a lot of pro-style schemes and attacks on the offense and defensive side. And so for most college kids, if you haven't been seeing this is going to be really complicated because a lot of stuff that they were doing, that was confusing. It was confusing on Alabama's behalf. So I think y'all D coordinator, shout out to him because he schemed up something well. I think he's gonna be in his bag for this game. NFL caliber type coach because he coached with the Ravens before. So he has what it takes. So I think he can be able to dial something up. And y'all secondary, with them throwing the ball, the way they throw the ball, when you throw the ball a lot, it opens up a lot of chances for mistakes. And with y'all secondary, I think he's going to need to be very careful with the ball this time. Now, he's very accurate. He gets it out fast. Y'all defensive line attacks very well.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed from Washington, they can counter a defensive line that attacks because they don't mind going to the bubble screen, total screens. They don't mind going to the screen game.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do that. But from what I seen in that Arizona game, and the reason why I look at that one game from them, because that's the game Arizona State played them like really tight. Like really, only thing was about it, Arizona State really couldn't score. So if I was the DC, this one game that I'm eyeing, if I was him, but I think he's gonna be ready. So who are some of the players that you are expecting to step up?
Well, believe it or not, I want to see Donovan Edwards get the running back for number 7 because he was basically invisible against Bama. It was a Blake Corum show. And not saying that Blake, I mean, when Blake's hot, he's hot. And of course, you want to give him the rock, but you want that even balance. So I think that's going to play a part. And then the wide receiver, Cornelius Johnson, because I don't think he had a catch, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was thrown to maybe 2 or 3 times, but he never came up with a reception because Morgan Wilson, number 1, the guy that caught the TD for us to tie the game, basically. He's been doing it all year, but you have to have those backups or number 2, number 3 receivers. Everybody just has to play well. It can't just be your go-to guy because once you shut him down, other guys are going to play a key role too. So,
do you think our tight end step up big in this game?
Yeah, he's got to. I mean, because when McCarthy likes to throw short, the curl routes or maybe a 10-yard in, tight end's always, available right there. So yeah, he's going to have to step it up too. And he's had good games during the regular year. So during the regular season. So hopefully it'll come to show in the national championship.
Yeah. I do like y'all tight end play. I've been liking y'all tight end play all season. Let's who do you think has the better offensive line? Because we know Washington is the award-winning offensive line this year. Mm-hmm. But who do you think has the better offensive line, Michigan or Washington?
Believe it or not, I have to go with Washington only because I just don't recall. And I'm curious to know how many times Penix has been sacked. But when put it like this, he threw for 400 yards against Texas, and Texas was throwing blitzes, and they were still able to pick it up. And when you're able to hold it like that, I mean that speaks volumes. I was just shocked that they just didn't take a knee and run the clock out, and they gave Texas that extra possession toward the end because that was looking real scary for a minute. The way they were driving down the field.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. This is what they wanted to do. But it was a play that one of their players he got hurt. So that made them stop because when he got hurt, they had to stop the clock. And I know that's what they didn't want to happen because that dude was on the field laying out and the clock stopped. And that's when you start seeing the chaos and the chaos starting to happen. That was crazy. I really thought Texas was about to come back and win in the last little bit. I was like, whoa, bro, whoa. So, what I like from y'all offense, y'all did it to us. Y'all played Michigan football. Mm-hmm. Michigan football, old school, running that year. We're not gonna give on what we do best. I think in the end, if the game can be close, if Michigan can keep close and keep Washington from striking fast and scoring, I think that will wear a Washington team down because I don't really think a team has really ran at them like that. And like I say, the offensive blocking schemes, that pro style type thing. I just like y'all display some NFL type stuff on that offense from that offensive line. The blocking schemes, the way y'all was getting scheming people open, it was wonderful. It was nice, and I think that wears down Washington's defense. My concern is Michigan slowing down this Washington offense. And like I said, what I see from defense, what I seen on the defensive side, I believe he will have something schemed up.
Yeah, and I think mainly to back that up, it's really going to be like, I think the game is really going to come down to between the tackles and the guards, and just making sure that they're protect, because what you don't want is your quarterback to take hits, and y'all went through that. I mean, first play of the game was a sack. I was like, whoa. And then second play, because I if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 5 sacks in the first half, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
And that's like you don't see that from a Alabama team at all. Like,
I'm be real with you. Honestly, that's been the story of our whole season, to be real with you. To be real, that's been the story of our whole season. What you seen in that game, honestly, the bad snapping, the inconsistency on offense, to be honest with you, that's been the story of our whole season. Mm-hmm. We just been finding a way to pull it out. Right. And this one game been caught up to us. Mm-hmm. Just when you're a fan, you gotta look yourself in the mirror and be real with yourself. Honestly, this has been happening. This has been going on. Yeah. It's been going on, man.
But the play in overtime, I think that was. I think if that snap was good to where he didn't have to look down to track the ball down, I think y'all would have punched it in, because the guard had literally just pulled around, and I'm telling myself, why would he go up the middle? But by the time he looked down and looked back up, the guard was already over there. So that was like, okay, well, I'd go up the middle, hope and pray. I mean, I thought a better play call would have happened in that situation as opposed to running it. But when he got stopped at that line, I was like, that's it. And the bar that I was watching in, I mean, it was because it was nothing but Michigan fans in there, and we went nuts, all out nuts.
People ask the question. Some people say they got our coach. Me personally, I don't think necessarily they got our coach. I think they got our physical.
Right.
They didn't execute in Michigan. The players came out. They wanted more. I feel like Alabama actually got bullied in that game. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah, Alabama has given up most sacks in college football. They improved their line. Is the standard Bama after that. Yeah. I feel like that if we got to get our line back in order. We got to get our line back in order. Like, our line has not been to the Bama standard in a while. We got to get that back together. But hey, that's neither here or there. That's neither here or there.
You know what's funny about Bama this year as a team? I think this was like the 1 year in a real long time that y'all didn't have like that dominant running back that everybody knows about, that receiver, like, because put it like this. Y'all didn't have, like, this year's squad, you guys didn't have, like, a Devontae Smith who's well-known, or a Jalen Waddle, or a Jameson Williams, or, in each position. So it's like, y'all played good despite the fact that y'all got as far as y'all did. So y'all should be really confident, because I think next year, now, do y'all play Georgia in the regular season next year?
Yeah.
When is that game?
I want to say the fourth game of the season.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's why I say, as a fan, yeah, that game sucked. It sucked because we want to win. But like I say, from other fan bases in the SEC, it was like y'all gonna lose 3 to 4 games. They were saying that after last year's season.
Right.
Coming into the season, who's gonna be y'all quarterback? Y'all don't have a quarterback. Your quarterback is the best running back. It was a lot said about us in the SEC from the fan bases. So it was like in the end, it was like, hey, it sucked, but Coach Saban said from where we started this season, this is like one of the best teams historically from where they started at and where they ended at. So, I'm proud of them guys.
Yep.
A lot of soul searching that need to be done from the players and stuff, I say. But hey, they get there.
Yep.
But this Washington game, how could you see Washington beating Michigan this game?
I think if they do beat us, Michael Penix is going to have like a absolute career day. I'm talking like 450 and up, and he got that past Texas. But I'm concerned about the running game because when I saw that running back get hurt, it's like, okay, next man up, whatever the case would be. And in that championship game environment, and you're just like, you're a backup the whole year, and all of a sudden you got to step up and play a game like that. Builds like nerves and all this and that all the way around. But I think it's really a toss up. But I think Michigan's going to come out on top at the end of the day. But it's like what Stephen A. Smith said. You can't be surprised if Washington upsets us. Only now, I'll put it like this. If the game goes down to the wire, it may come down to whoever has the ball last. In all honesty, but you got good quarterbacks, you got good defense, good offense. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's what's up. So, man, I like this game. The reason why I like this game is because two different styles of football are about to meet. Old school smash mouth football versus let's air this thing out. I like what both teams. For me, with Washington, I was big on Michael Penix ever since the end of last season. I told people he had Heisman finalist numbers at the end of last season.
Yep.
So coming in the season, I actually picked him to win the Heisman. He was a Heisman finalist, didn't win it. Okay, be honest with you. I thought Michigan was just gonna be the Michigan of old. I was on my guy show, Michigan Man show. I'm upset. Shout out to my guy. He was like, I told him one thing I was worried about with J.J. McCarthy and his Michigan team. First year they get in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they're just happy to be there. Second year, seemed like they was overconfident, didn't expect TCU to do that. I don't think the world expected it.
Mm-hmm.
Third time, this is what I said that worked me a little bit. Third time's the charm. That crazy saying, third time's the charm. I felt like that third time charm gonna be they will come in, locked in, ready to play. I still thought Bama was gonna pull it out, but Michigan showed they wanted more. Can they hold that same attitude this game? Can they have the I wanted more attitude against a Washington team that they ain't been there forever neither?
Right.
Do Washington come in with that I wanted more than you attitude? Who wins the physical battle? Who wins that physical battle is my question. I want to know.
So overall, hold up. Yeah, and see, that's a good point because Michigan will because they can control the clock, and that's what they were doing, against Bama, and they were trying to wear out their defense by having these long drives, and part of that is because of the team that's built around them, and it's funny because I can't remember what part of the game it was, but there was a part that was telling me that if they just drain the clock, that everything's going to be all right going towards their way. But this is traditional, like Big Ten, formerly Pac-10, but Big 12 now. Type of game that you're going to get. But but there. I'm not going to say there's a strength. Well, put it like this. I'm not going to say both teams are evenly matched, but I think both teams have a lot to bring up to the table. But as far as Washington's defense goes, I just feel that our offense is going to be good enough to where they can build around that. And the defense is going to be hungry. Now, whether or not what they do to Penix, it would be just a shock to me if they completely take him out of his game and shut him down, because you give him 2 to 3 seconds in a shotgun position, that ball's coming out of his hand.
Yeah. And that's the key for Michigan. Let's get the Penix fast. It don't have to be stacks, but make him get it out faster than he want. Make him get it out faster than he want. And I believe that back end can hold out. If y'all can get the Penix faster than he's used to getting to, because this is what I seen from Arizona State. It was times where they was getting the Penix faster than he wanted, and he was throwing the ball off balance, and that's what Michigan needs to do. That's what Michigan needs to do. I'm seeing now Dylan Johnson is expected to play. Washington running back is expected to play.
Okay.
But hey, I think Dylan Johnson good. He a good running back. He a good running back, but I think Michigan, they ready for it, man. They ready for it, man. Yep. I think they ready for it.
Yeah.
Harbaugh. People like to bring up their stealing stuff. This stuff I don't really care to talk about, the stealing scandal. What I look at the most was most impressive about the team is the time he was gone, the coaches that stepped up in that place, because most teams, they fall apart, they crumble. That team stayed solid through 2 suspensions. And the last suspension was most impressive because that was the strong part of the schedule for y'all. Yeah. That offensive coordinator, I don't know who is it going to be for, but he finna get his time. He finna get his time. He next up. That dude, he put on the coaching clinic. He put on a coaching clinic.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the rumors about Harbaugh going to the NFL?
So I'm gonna say this personally. I don't want to. Well, okay. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on this podcast. I was Jim Harbaugh's biggest critic when he first came to Michigan, mainly because Michigan's reputation is, we have this motto called the Michigan Man, which means former assistant or player, whatever you want to look at it. If they get a position for a head job, they want to see them get it. That's Juwan Howard for the basketball team, and Harbaugh at Michigan, and the coach that we had before Harbaugh got there was Brady Hoke, who was a Michigan fan as well, who just retired at San Diego State. So I knew it was going to take time for Harbaugh to bring that energy and that vibe back to Michigan football. But the biggest thing about that was what we were striving for more than anything else, and any Michigan fan will tell you this. The only game that matters on that schedule is when we play that team down south, Ohio State. That is it. Michigan State, that's in-state rivalry. I get that. Penn State, somewhat of a rivalry. I get that. But when it comes to Michigan, Ohio State, they want to win that game more than anything. And Harbaugh was 0-5. 0-5. That's not including the COVID year because they didn't play. But he was 0-5. There was no way he would still be the head coach if he went 0-6 against Michigan. There was no way. So the year that they won, when it was Hutchinson and them boys, that was like, okay, you know what? Michigan's back. were on the coming up because we went to the playoffs that year, and it was like, okay, now it's good. Now, if they end up winning the national championship, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that he goes, but I think the NFL coach is gonna be knocking on his door. And the part that I'm kind of surprised at is the fact that I was reading a report that they were trying to pay him $11 million, extend his contract $11 million a year, and this was during the scandal. So my thing is that hasn't been offered yet for whatever reason. I'm not sure if they just said we're going to wait and see how the season plays out and all that other stuff. But if they win the national championship, if they want him to stay, they'll give him more money if they really don't want him to leave. But what I'm actually okay with is if he does vote to the NFL because he did what Michigan fans wanted to see him do at Michigan. Now, beating Ohio State was one thing, but winning the national championship, that's a whole other thing. So you can't say, well, you know, what did he not do? He won us a ship. So, and the next man up would be the offensive coordinator, no question. They don't even need to, like, I know truthfully they need to interview people, but they'll know who they want to hire if he does.
Yeah, I can see that, especially with the Michigan, like the hire. I can see that. I can see that. So if they didn't hire the offensive coordinator, what name would you like to see?
Oh boy, that's tough. Cause see, I'm gonna say this. I think I really can't say who, only because I don't know, like, per se who would be. I mean, sure, anybody would be interested in taking the job, but I think from what you've seen, especially these past 3 years, you want to keep that momentum going. And the fact that Harbaugh was suspended and you have a guy step up and he won you the 2 games were important for sure. And with that, it's like, why not give him a shot? Like, there is no Michigan. I'll say this.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah.
I don't think there's a Michigan fan that's going to say that, yeah, we need to look outside and bring a guy in, because that's going to change up the whole entire culture. And that means that the freshmen and sophomores that you're bringing in, and see, that's another reason why I don't think he's going to bolt, because you're bringing in talent and you're still going to be a winning program. And whether if he's done with the NFL or not, it's going to take like a massive deal, I think, for him to leave Ann Arbor and go back to NFL. But as a Michigan man, especially if we win Monday, I'm not going to be upset about it, because he won you a national championship, which was the whole point of coming to Michigan to do. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But
hey, let me ask you this: who your favorite Michigan player of all time, man?
Favorite? Oh, that's tough. Cause see, honestly, it's easy to say Charles Woodson or Desmond Howard, but believe it or not, for me, it's probably Braylon Edwards, wide receiver. And the reason why a Biletnikoff winner was because he was just so dominant when he played. And it was like, if you needed him to make the catch, if you needed him to get a touchdown, all this and that, he was that guy. And this was after the national championship, the 97 team. I was kind of bummed that he didn't end up, because they lost in the he never beat Ohio State, and then they lost in the Rose Bowl to Vince Young, which was a great Rose Bowl game, before they went back the next year and won against USC. But no, Braylon was a beast. I was just sad that his NFL career really didn't pan out like the way that fans thought that it would. Because he went high in the draft. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he was like, I know he was top 5. I want to say he was probably the 4th pick of the draft or something like that. Like, he was up there.
What team did he go? That's the team. That's what I'm trying to think of. What team did he go? Cleveland, yeah. The career killer.
Yep.
They better now, but
Yeah.
man. Michigan beat us. Wow. We talk about we talk about Michigan and Washington right now. Now I'm proud of it. That's what's up. That's what football all about. Expecting the unexpected.
Yeah.
And I think they have y'all favorite. But I think the world going against y'all right now.
And see, that's another reason why that winning Monday would be so much sweeter. Only because if the NCAA was like when they did their investigation, they had more than enough time to look at it, and then they said, okay, we'll suspend Harbaugh for 3 games. Additional to that, and it's like, so you take away the head coach, fine. Guess what? They still go ahead and win, and that's the beauty about Harbaugh as far as what he was able to do for the players, because the players wanted to win. They knew that they're telling themselves, okay, this ain't the case. This is blown way out of proportion. Whatever the case would be, guess what? We're gonna win for our head coach. And when you go out and do that, and the wins don't have to be pretty, but you walk out that stadium at the end of the day with your helmet up in the air, and that's the type of effect that he had on those guys.
Yeah. My guy Antonio, he said most definitely Harbaugh out. He think Harbaugh gonna be gone. He think Harbaugh gonna be out.
I mean, if he does, I mean, it's like I said, if he does, we can't put it like this. No Michigan fan's gonna get upset if he were to bowl, especially after, if we win the Natty come Monday. Now, I don't think nobody's gonna just be like, well, the NFL looks nice, and if it's the right time Now, I'll say this: if he leaves, he needs to go to the Chargers. If he leaves, I don't want to see him go to the Bears, because the Bears franchise is already a wreck. It's in disarray, and I just don't think that. Not saying that. Put it like this: not saying that he can't change it in Chicago. He could, more than likely, but I just want to see him in a good position where you have a quarterback like Justin Herbert.
My personal opinion, I think this is my opinion. I hear what you're saying too about the quarterback thing. Yes, Justin Herbert will be better quarterback play. I think he would know how to work with Justin Fields more than the coach that knows right now how to work with him. I would think he would know how to work more with him than the dude they got now. He even got better, but I think Harbaugh would know how to work with him more.
I mean, he would, because you gotta remember when he was in San Fran, he had Colin Kaepernick. So and I get that, but the thing about Justin Fields that I don't think he gets enough credit, because I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say that him going to Bears was the wrong pick, but you're not giving him any type of talent. So like the DJ Moore trade, we saw how that went this year, and it showed. So it's like give him a player to help with his skill set, and it'll be fine. Like a Marvin Harrison Jr. Because Chicago, like, I'm gonna put it like this: if Chicago drafts a quarterback, Fields is going to be out regardless. But I don't want to see Fields go to a team and all he's doing is riding the bench. I think he just needs to stay put. It's just the coaching that has to get better.
Yeah, because I wasn't the biggest Field fan, but the stuff he got from his rookie year, I said, hold on, pump the brakes. You got to realize that organization is terrible right now. Yep. He doesn't have any pieces over there to help him out. The coaching sucks over there. Like, everything sucks right now over there. Like, his rookie year and is looking better now, but you got to get pieces around these guys. You got to get pieces around these guys. But he wasn't my favorite guy coming out of college. I told people I seen a lot of flaws in Fields coming out of college. It's just he was able to the offense they had, they was able to expose a lot of defenses. You know what I'm saying? But he had a lot of flaws. But I think with the right coach, some of the right pieces around him, I think we get a better product out of Justin Fields.
Yep.
So, Washington, Michigan. What do you think this score is going to be like?
Well, from what I saw against Bama, I'll be honest. I think Michigan will come up top. I say 31-20.
Ooh, hold Michigan to 20. That's big. That'd be big. It can be done. Arizona State held them to like 15, 16, some crap like that. It can be done. It can be done. Man. What was your feel after that Alabama game, though, bro?
I mean, well, for me personally, it was great because because I lived in Alabama for 15 years, and my Facebook post was, I've been waiting to say this for 21 years. And as long as I was in the States, like, how y'all feel now? And what I meant by that was, because see, here's what's funny about Bama fans, and I never understood this. When y'all win the national championship or a big game, whatever the case may be, y'all go off on Facebook on the rails, Roll Tide and all that. But it's like, but when you guys lose, it's like you still believe in yourselves, and I get that. It's still Roll Tide Nation, all this now. I get that. But it's kind of like y'all kind of be salty with it somewhere at the same time, because it got away from you. And that's what I feel like this game was, because you guys remember, you guys had to leave with 3 minutes left.
Yeah. What hurt my feelings about it was, it seemed like when we scored, we couldn't play defense anymore. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? And that's why, I'm one of them fans, yeah, it sucks. Believe me, it sucks. But I'm like, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like, I ain't finna be like, this, and excuse, man. Hey, Michigan wanted the boy. Like I say, to me, people say we got out coached. I don't even think it was that. I think we got out physical. We got outplayed. Our players got outplayed, out physical. Michigan players wanted it more than Bama players. We could tell who was more locked in that week than we were. We can tell the team that Michigan seemed more locked in.
Yeah. But see, I'm gonna tell you this, because I'll just be honest. I think this was one of those Bama teams where it was like, let's see what we have, let's see what we can put up with, and let's see if we can make this shit ride. So, because it's like when y'all lost to Texas, it was like, okay, Texas was the better team, which they were. And the chance of, wait a minute, nothing.
He was saying, best because he a Georgia fan, and he basically saying, like, you saying, you know what you see, but he said, basically, you ain't seen nothing, basically, from his standpoint.
Oh, well, no, he was. Wait, see, no. That's where he's wrong, because like I said, I am a Alabama State in Montgomery, Alabama, from 2002 to 2017 when I left. I get it. I've been through the madness. Iron Bowl, shoot, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And folks be like up there shooting and killing each other, whatever the case is. I've been up there, sir. I've been up there. I'm from Michigan, but no, I live in the shoot. He don't know who I am.
He said Alabama fans had 9 lives this season.
They did.
Hey, man, y'all gonna leave us alone, man.
They did. And see, you want to know, but see, here's the deal. Like that Georgia fan, and I'm willing to say this on this podcast. What's funny about Georgia, and he doesn't realize this, is what success has Georgia truthfully had since 1980 for the past 2 years? Nothing. And the closest opportunity that you guys had to that was the year y'all went to the SEC championship game and y'all beat Auburn, and y'all was playing Alabama in Atlanta, basically in your own backyard. And you let Tua, who did not take a meaningful snap the whole season, come in there and do that to y'all. No. Yeah, man, no.
Oh boy. Hey, you know what though? Before this Rose Bowl game, I really realized us SEC people see football different from the Big Ten people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, we are the same people. We all feel strongly about our team.
Right.
We ride for our teams. And it's stuff like this. Why I love college football so much, because everybody passionate about every fan base is passionate about their team. And this is what makes college football so good. So, like I say, in the end, when we lose, as a fan, it sucks. But, hey, I like college football, so in the end, I can talk about it. Leave my feelings and emotions out of it. And, hey, let's move on. Who do I think wins this game?
You said what?
I'm saying, who do I think wins this game?
Mm-hmm.
I think Michigan can throw stuff at Penix to make them uncomfortable. But this is nothing on Michigan. This is just me, because I've been riding with Penix since the beginning of last season, and I'm an offensive guy. So I always ride with the strong offense, and that always doesn't happen. But I just never go against the strong offense, and I just been riding with Penix this long. Like I said, I picked him to win the Heisman, but what I seen from Michigan, believe me, that style of offense and the style of defense can be very confusing to a team who hasn't seen that. And I'm telling you, and I'm saying that because I seen it Monday, that wow, we was confused, we was lost, and I don't care what nobody say. I don't think Washington has faced a defense like Michigan. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. The closest I can say is Arizona State, but I don't really think Arizona State. I mean, Washington played their best game that game against them. So I'm saying Michigan, I think, is the strongest defense that Washington is going to see. Yep. And what I seen from that defensive line, I really think my man gonna really draw up stuff to make Michael Penix uncomfortable. I'm going with Washington, but it's a big it's a question mark in my head. Honestly, when I'm watching the game, I'm just picking somebody because I'm on here. Honestly, when I'm watching the game, I don't care enough, because it's one of them things when Michigan do stuff good, I'm gonna be like, good play, Michigan. If Michigan do something stupid, I'm like, come on, yeah, do better. And it's the same way with Washington. My emotions go back and forth. I like this type of game because I can actually watch it as a fan and not have nothing invested in it, not be ready to pull my hair out after in the end. But all that being said, I think Washington pulls it out. And there I go, giving Michigan more fuel to the fire.
Well, we will see. But I mean, either way, win or lose, especially with the adversity and all that we've gone through. I mean, that's my team, that's my squad. I always support. So the fact that they're just in it and everybody else will be watching it at home, and then maybe, we pull it out, that's when they'll actually give us credit due. Because see, the tough part about this is the haters that talk about us is going to say, well, y'all cheated, they just couldn't figure y'all out and blah blah blah, so they didn't come on y'all strong enough like they should have, and whatever. And I'm like, well, the best example of that was if there was an ongoing investigation, still they wouldn't have allowed us into the playoff, because that would have been that cloud over their head. That's why they came to the conclusion and just said, you know what, we don't have enough evidence, we don't have enough support. Let them play, let them ride, and let's have what happened happen. And that's part of the reason why when we got to number one, we stayed there and all, we kept winning and all that. So, and the fact that y'all beat Georgia, that really opened the door for us.
Yeah.
So that put them in, and obviously they got you guys and they got Texas in. But I mean, I can't wait till next year, because next year is going to be the 12 teams.
Ooh.
And now it's going to be that if you're that 13 or 14 team, and they're going to look at it and be like, so we're good enough to be 13, 14, but we're not even good enough to be in the top 12 or whatever, and all this and that. So it's going to be crazy. And I'll throw this in there. I know they're talking about the length of the season. I think they need to push the season up a week, in all honesty. So have it start like that mid-August time, like when that first week of school starts. Boom,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Go.
Hey, let me ask you this.
Games.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a lot of opting out bowl games, and we see it every year.
Yep.
Even with the 12-team playoff, with the lower seed teams, do you think they still opt out of playoff games? Because it's a bigger playoffs than.
To answer that question, I'm actually glad you brought that up. So first off, I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of players opting out, because what that shows is, if you're opting out for the draft, that's one thing. I somewhat get that, but that, to me, that's a bad look, because that's basically saying to your team that, you know what, I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to make millions of dollars. Some of y'all ain't going to play football, pro ball. I don't need to be going through this job. So they go ahead and back out. And that's the same way with the transfer portal. The biggest mistake that college football has right now is you got guys that are playing, but they're not fully committed. Because prior to the NIL deals and the transfer portal, this wasn't even a thing. Now, if you were like first round material, get out, okay, fine. But if you were like second, third, fourth, you played that game.
And see, bring up your point. Iowa played Tennessee. Joe Milton, their quarterback, he opted out. I said, I guarantee you're probably not on the top three of the first 3 rounds of the draft. You're probably not even on about draft boards. You done opted out. So I'm like, listen, as a player, I get what they saying. I get it. I feel I get it. But as a fan, I'm like, man, what are you doing? And you know what I hate to see the most when they opt out and stuff? They opt out. Then they sit their butt over there on the sideline with the team.
That's what Marvin Harrison Jr. did in the Cotton Bowl, and I was not a fan of that. And if memory serves it right, I don't even think he's committed to the league yet. I don't think he's officially declared yet.
Yeah,
because if he did, what would have been the point of you on the sidelines anyway?
My thing is, if you say, unless you are a player that's truly injured, okay, I get it. But you just opting out. You say you getting ready for the NFL, go get ready for the NFL. I don't need you over here on the sideline causing distractions with my team. Right. Go get ready for the NFL, man.
Right.
And you know, it might be insensitive as a fan, it might be very insensitive, because when my son go through the process, I might have different feelings about it. But as of right now, it's like, man, you say you're going to get ready for the NFL, go get ready for the NFL.
But see, guys got to be smarter when it comes to enter a transfer. Because I'm going to give you an example. You just mentioned it. Joe Milton at Tennessee. Where did he transfer from?
Michigan.
Exactly. And when he left, that opened the door for Cade McNamara, who's now at Iowa. Because what's happening is this. If you get benched and see, that's why Jalen Miller, I applaud him for what he did, because when he got benched for the USF game, and we saw how poor the quarterback play was, that's when they said, you know what, we need to get this guy back on the field. Because even though y'all lost against Texas the way you did, it wasn't really because the way he played, it was just Texas was just better team that day. And what happens a lot of times is once a guy said, "Well, I'm benched. Well, I'm not gonna play. I'll just transfer whatever case it be." And I think folks are taking advantage of that to the point to where if they're not the guy for whatever reason, that they don't want to sit behind somebody that was behind them, and all of a sudden they're getting success and they're going to flavor it. Now, with that being said, if it's college football, you're in school, so if you're like and the SEC is the only conference that does this. When they have that SEC graduate patch, they're a graduate. If they graduate from school, then by all means, go on to go to.
Fact.
You did your time. You did your time at the school that you originally wanted to, whatever the case would be. But when folks opt out and they transfer and all this and that, and then they go somewhere, there needs to be a rule in college football that says you cannot opt out anywhere until your season is 100% complete. Then I'm fine if you want to do it afterwards.
So with that being said, let's start throwing that in the NIL deals.
Yeah,
I bet it's a different change. I bet it's a different mindset and change of heart. Then, if you opt out before the NIL deal, this percent of your money comes back.
I'm with that.
Honestly, this is what I feel about this stuff. I think we ought to go back to the normal signing day in February and move up the transfer portal stuff to after the bowl games.
Yeah.
I think that's what we should do. Get rid of the early signing day, move it back to February, and move up the transfer portal to after the national championship. The portals are now open. Go for it.
Yeah.
I don't think that stops the opt-outs, but I believe that's definitely going to stop a lot of transfers.
Right.
But at the same time, they just might be a little smart behind them. I'm just opted out into transfer portal. So, man,
And what's crazy about that is you got guys that leave schools and they play within the same conference. And I'm not a fan of that either, because you'd have to play that guy again and and all this and that. But it's just really hurting from college. It's just really hurting from college football. Like to me, like I don't know if you're a fan of college basketball for real, but that to me that's kind of like, okay, the one and done and all this and that, but that's like the equivalent for it. And I think college basketball would be much better if you had guys do at least 3 years instead of 1 and out. But basketball and football, the sports are literally different. Like when you just say, okay, you're like you for college you play 1 year of college ball and then all of a sudden you NFL ready. Nah.
I remember Maurice Claret tried that, and I was like, even then I was a whole lot younger then, but it was like in 2000 or something. I'm like
2002, yep.
Yeah, I'm like, what makes you think that your body is high school? I mean, NFL ready, like, bro.
Because he put it like this, he looked like he was NFL ready body wise. There was no question about it. But as far as actually doing, and see, that's why he didn't pan out in the NFL like that. He played 1 year. He wanted to declare. He challenged it. Then he had to sit out that whole next year, because you got to remember, it wasn't until 2005 when he actually went to the NFL then, and he was not the same player.
Yep, not the same player. Yep, you're right. I agree, man. But a lot of this college football stuff, man. Man, it irks me. It irks me. Like I say, it's one of them things, man.
Yeah. And you know what? One last thing, since we talked about the transfer portal and NIL deals, I feel that goes for coaches as well. And the reason why I say that for the coaches is because to me it's a bad look. Like, I get it that jobs are going to open up and you want to apply and this and that, whatever the case be. I get that. As coaches, they have that they have that right to interview and all this and that. But my thing is this: you don't commit anywhere until the season is ended, because once you do that, I feel, now I didn't play college football, but this is just how I feel, understand the game and all that. once you commit to a school and you're playing in a bowl game, it's like, what do I have to bust my butt in practice for? What do I have to attend meetings, this and that, whatever the case would be when I know the coach is leaving? That just gives a bad look. And then your players and all are going to feel betrayed. And the reason why I don't think it gets to that level is because they somewhat get it and they understand it. But as the players now, they have that opportunity to do that too. Like when Deion left Jackson State for the Colorado down, he flew to Colorado the very same night after they
Yep.
went. And I'm like, y'all still got a whole nother game to play.
Yep.
And that was kind of the reason why I felt they lost, because they were the better team than I think it was it North Carolina Central they played?
I'm trying to remember.
I forget. Yeah, but regardless of who they played, those players weren't all 100% in, and neither was Deion, and it showed.
And I'm gonna tell you, man. So, oh boy, you just opened up a can of worms with that one, man. The Deion situation. I tell people, I hope he's successful over there. I hope he does well over there. But at some point, he's going to have to start coaching and stop ranting.
Yep.
He's going to have to start coaching because let's go back to Jackson State. He lost both of them Celebration Bowl games.
Yep.
2 years in a row.
Yep.
Because he was out coached. He didn't know how to make the adjustments needed.
Yep.
You can say he can do all this stuff to get the high profile recruits, but you're not getting a lot of high profile recruits. You're getting like one and nothing, and just a whole bunch of stragglers out of Porter.
Yeah, and then
he only signed like 5 people out of high school this early go round. Yeah. Of course, he can get more, but you're gonna have to start coaching, sir.
Yep. And not only that, you need to bring guys that have coaching experience, because keep in mind, he just hired Warren Sapp as one of his coaches. Warren Sapp has never coached before. You can play in the NFL and be a great player, but that doesn't mean that you're qualified to be a coach.
And listen, I'm a Buccaneers fan. Love Warren Sapp to death.
Yep.
And I said, Warren Sapp, I don't know if he can coach. He might can. I don't know. Right. I said, but it's a difference between coaching and giving pointers. Yep. If you're looking for somebody to give players pointers, you can hire me. I can give you pointers all day. But does he knows the X's and O's part of the game? Does he knows all the coaching facts? I don't know. He might do. But Warren Sapp, of course, he'll be a great recruiting tool. He's a great name to throw out there in recruiting. But can he do the small things that coaches do, the small things that leads to the big things? Or is he just going to be a good tip giver?
And see, that's also part of the reason why I'm like, and I'm going to say this because I went to an HBCU school. That's why I don't like the fact that you want to grab a great player and throw them into a head coaching role when they don't have experience like that and think they're going to make that much of a difference. Because like Deion was a high school offensive coordinator. No college experience, no NFL experience. Now, the whole Jackson State thing, I get it. If it took something like that to happen, that's fine. But my issue now is you're trying to have the same impact with everybody else. Eddie George at Tennessee State, and Eddie's never coached. Ed Reed, when he was supposed to go to Bethune-Cookman, but never had an actual contract and all this and that. All these great players. Meanwhile, you've got guys already at HBCU schools or whatever that want that shot.
And you know, we're forgetting about Alabama State coach.
Yep.
This guy. It seems like he can throw to the through the back because of the Deions and the Eddie Georges. We're forgetting about FAMU coach that's over there coaching his butt off for the past couple years. Like, it's good coaches in HBCU, but it's getting overshadowed by these high-profile athletes from the NFL. And let's talk about the coaching part of it again. So now you're getting these high-profile athletes that probably never had to really face adversity to get through the Deion Sanders. He probably been the best ever since he ever stepped foot on the football field. He never had to probably work his hardest to be better than everybody. Now you got to coach a kid up that needs developing.
Mm-hmm.
And you get aggravated with this kid because he needs to be developing. You don't know, you don't have the people around there to develop him, and you don't know how to go about developing. That's why he likes Travis Hunter so much. Because Travis Hunter is one of those freak athletes. He probably just needs tweaking with a little bit of things, but it's not much you have to do with him.
And I think for his game, since you brought up Travis Hunter, I think for his game, he can't be playing both ways.
No,
it's too much.
I said the same thing. I said even with Coach Prime needs to realize, yes, you play both sides of the ball, but you didn't play both sides of the ball to the extent that kid is playing.
Treat him how you treated Charles Woodson in Michigan. Have him on offense in those special packages, whatever the case may be, and do all that. But don't have him go both ways.
Like hell, treat them like they treated you with the Cowboys. They didn't have you out there every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Treat them like it. But you got this man literally playing offense and defense to the fullest. Now he playing offense. When you got plenty of athletes on the offensive side of the ball, you need them more on the defense. But now he getting exposed more on the defensive side because this kid getting wore down playing both sides of the ball. He a good defensive player, but it's times that I've seen him getting exposed, and I believe it's because you're playing too much. You're playing too many minutes right now. Mm-hmm. I believe we can get a whole lot more out of Travis Hunter if you just played him on one side of the ball.
Yep.
Think about when Travis Hunter went down. They brought another receiver in, and he got 100 yards receiving. So why do you even need him on offense if you got somebody that coming off the bench getting 100 yards the next game? You don't need him on offense. Then with the offensive line thing, okay, you having flaws on the offensive line, but your mindset is we need a new offensive line. You're not going to try to develop nobody. You're just going to throw them away and start from scratch and possibly could end up in the same situation because if you're not developing, you just getting more big guys and hopefully this work out. What if they need developing and you go through the same situation? What, you going to throw them away and just go get a whole new offensive line? Like, that's what I'm saying. Coaching is going to start happening and stop talking. Yep. And I'm strong on this because I really want to see Coach Prime succeed. He has an opportunity to open the doors for more coaches like him, but don't crap it away talking and not coaching.
But see, I think part of the problem with Deion, especially like when he came to Colorado, because you got to remember his show that he had on Prime. So now it's like if you're a recruit and you want to play, you ain't got to work hard. You can just go on talent, whatever the case may be, and you get drawn in that environment. And that, like, their first game when they beat TCU, that was huge because you beat a runner-up in the national championship. I totally give you props for that. But the game this past year that I think, like, shut a lot of people up was the Stanford game when they were up 26 at halftime. And Stanford came back like you wouldn't believe and beat him. And not only that, you had a 200-yard receiver at Stanford who hasn't been nothing to football. I would say, and you could say Christian McCaffrey, but for me, I think it was when Andrew Luck was there. Because when Andrew Luck was there, he was
there. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, man, but enough about him. I can go on all night about him. And I'm so strong on him because, like I said, I want him to succeed. I want him to see. I don't want him to blow the opportunity.
Right.
I don't want him to blow the opportunity.
But he has to do it the I'm not going to say the right way, but he has to like honestly, I would quit with all the hype, all the flash, your reality shows and all this that just stick to
coach
because and now with them moving to the Big 12, And with Texas and Oklahoma moving to the SEC, which those were the two heavyweights in the Big 12, they're going to expect for him to go in and dominate that conference now.
Man, well, my buddy Coach Dude, go subscribe to Coach Dude Sports TV. He a big critic of Coach Brian. He call him Coach Sanders. He don't call him Coach Brian. Coach Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's a big critic of him, and he was saying something about, I think Colorado got this thing out there, Big 12 championship or bust. Like,
nah, can't be saying all that. Especially
no. And see, with that being said, I get mad at that because are y'all sleeping on the Big 12? Because I watch football. They got football teams over there, bro. Mm-hmm. They got football teams over there that play football. I don't hold them up to the standards of the Big the SEC. I know y'all don't hold them up to the standards of the Big 10, but you can't discount the teams that play football. And I'm not talking about Texas and Oklahoma because, of course, they're leaving. Let's talk about the BYUs. They are not no playoff teams, right, but they consistently put a good product out there on the field.
Right.
Let's talk about the Kansas State that consistently put a good product on the field. Let's talk about the Kansas Jayhawks that have, over the past couple of years, been putting a good goddamn type of football on the field. Mm-hmm. And y'all think y'all just finna go dominate that?
Yeah.
When you bringing some of the good teams out to our conference, stop.
Did you hear what Will Howard, the Kansas State quarterback, committed to today?
Ohio State?
Yep. And the dude that left Ohio State went to Syracuse.
Yeah. Football gonna be interesting this coming up season, man. Football gonna be interesting.
Right. Real quick. Because you said you're a Bucs fan. Y'all have to win Sunday to clinch the division, right?
Yeah.
So and y'all got, who do y'all play?
I can't think of it right now because you asked me. Freak. I can't remember right now. I can't think of I'm having brain fart. Matter of fact, Detroit Cowboys. You went to that game.
Man. All right. So the last thing I'm gonna even bring this issue up, because this will annoy me more than anything else. It wasn't the fact that we lost the game. It's more about how we lost the game. And you really can't say how because, okay, CeeDee Lamb has over 200 yards. I get that. So when we were going for the 2-point conversion, I'm screaming, just kick the extra point. Just kick the extra point. And they were going for 2, and they were going for the win. Dan Campbell and his, attitude, demeanor, and all this. Now, I get all that. But the refs screwed up, which ended up costing us. Now, you can sit there and say, well, the problem that I had with the officiating was this. It wasn't the fact that you threw the flag for illegal touching. You threw the flag because you're saying that the guy Decker, who is 68, never reported to you, but he's right there in your face.
Coach talked to him about it before the game.
Right.
And the player went over there before the play to let him know.
Yeah. Goff sent him over there to the huddle. Goff sent him over there to the official. And then 70 came running in. And when the ref turned and started looking, that's where he reported him as eligible. But this is why I tell everyone else, because when everybody wants to throw in the well, it wouldn't have counted no way because no receiver was actually lined up on the ball. Then throw the flag for illegal formation.
Yeah.
You could throw 2 flags on the same play. We see it happen in football all the time. So that's irrelevant to me at that point. That means that if they had acknowledged that Decker reported and that play stood, they would have missed the fact that they were lined up on the ball. Now, that doesn't mean that would have meant that the refs got the call. But in this particular case, it hurt because we had a legitimate shot of winning that game. But the only thing that I was concerned about was with 2 timeouts and you already have CeeDee Lamb who had 200 yards, drive down the length of the field to get in field goal range to Mr. Hasn't Missed. That's like 35 out of 35 all year.
Crazy. We play the Panthers.
But yeah, y'all, Jesus, yeah. Well,
We better.
y'all are playing for the division, so there's no resting, guys. So yeah, y'all should have y'all.
Yeah, that's why I said we better.
But y'all cannot wet the bed like y'all did against the States, because those first 55 minutes that I was watching, I was like,
I was pissed. I was, and my son, he a Saints fan, so got that going on in the house. So
yeah. Ooh, I hope y'all was watching in different rooms.
I want to beat him up. Look, I'm gonna beat my 13-year-old up. But yeah, man. But yeah, appreciate you for coming on. You got Michigan.
Yep.
Michigan, it'll be big for Michigan. Big for Michigan. Big for Michigan.
Just hope they pull it out. But as I said before, very proud of what they've done. Very proud of where they at, the type of year they had. And we got one more game to handle, but we got one more day at the office. And then once we handle that, yeah.
Hey, do you keep up with recruiting and stuff as well?
Not like that, but it kind of surprised me that that, as a matter of fact, I don't even think Michigan was top 10 in recruiting class this year, if I'm not mistaken.
You see this name on the screen, right?
Yeah.
He a Michigan YouTuber. Go check him out. He got great Michigan stuff. Go check him out, man.
I will.
Like you will really like him. Like he invited me on his show, man, and I had a good time on it, man. I like the stuff that they do over there. They got something called Week Zero podcast as well, and it's what's up. I like it, man. I like it.
Okay.
So anybody watching this video, just go subscribe to my guy. Show him some love, man. But like I said, I appreciate you for coming on, man. Sorry I had to cancel on you. I think my dad needed some help early that morning.
Oh you good, man. You good, man. I gotta rush and tend to my daughter before I put her to sleep. So no, I get it, bro. I get it.
Yeah. But appreciate you for coming on.
No
Let's
problem.
See how this thing go down on Monday.
Yep. Go blue, baby. Go
blue. And roll tide.
Yep.
We out, baby.
All right.